Alrighty, folks, this is quickly becoming a new favorite topic of mine, and that is buying small businesses and working with Mr. Bo Eckstein to get them financed because I'm intrigued by the creative opportunities. In video one today, we talked about how to find them. In video number two, we're going to talk about how to evaluate them, things to look for. Bo, thank you for being here each week. I appreciate you, and the audience loves you.
Thanks. It's always good to be here. And I love talking about entrepreneurship, business acquisition, and real estate. So it's
Yeah,
perfect.
so it's like a home run for you. It's like your kid in a candy store, right? So let's
Exactly.
talk about it. So let's just pretend somebody had a buy box. It was laundry mats. I'm just picking on it because that's the one I used in the last video, so I'll stick with it. Now you have an operator that says, "Hey, I might be interested in selling." What should somebody do once that happens? What should they look at? Should they call you? Maybe they book a call right away. What should they do due diligence wise? What do they do? They got somebody that wants to sell. What do they do?
Sure. So I think it's building rapport and relationship first. It's not, I think the important thing is that the seller typically is gonna want to like the person they're selling their business to. It's usually their baby. And
Interesting.
so we have I just hijacked a series of questions. Actually, we'll make a resource for one rental at a time because I do have a list of 800 business brokers and resources to look for businesses for sale. So I think it'd be very useful. I'm having my virtual assistant edit it for everybody. So we'll
Awesome.
figure out where to put it on your website, and they
Yeah,
can
there's
go.
a there's this website called onerental@a time.com where you are a millionaire returning guest. We will put it right on that page.
Yeah, there we go. So we're going to give you some resources to find deals, but now we're getting into like the meat and potatoes. So I like to make things very simple. So what I would do is once you identify a business that sounds good, it if you're getting seller financing, if the seller's interested in financing it, that's going to be vetted out through the conversations that you have. I wouldn't talk financials the first moment you're with them. I might make that the second conversation. I would get more information on how the business runs, how many hours they're working at the business. Do they have any staff? What does that look like? Are you buying just the business and the machines? Or are you buying the building? What does that look like? A lot of times they own the building it's in. So once you identify that now you have basically a framework. Then you're going to get into what the seller is looking for, and you're always leaving the door open for them to finance a portion of it. And most of the time they're willing to at least carry back 10-15% on the deal. So you
Mhm.
can get very creative because we know SBA can cover up to 90% of the costs. So then the big thing is usually they'll give you their P&Ls, and their P&Ls are not their actual tax returns. And SBA, we always need tax returns. We want balance sheets. We want to know a list of the equipment that's in the laundromat. Do they have 50 machines? What does that look like? And so once you have the actual tax returns, you're usually going to have to sign an NDA. Oftentimes, they're listed off market because the seller doesn't want people knowing that the business is changing hands. That's why
Exactly.
you see a lot more off market deals versus the real estate world. But once
Mm.
you get 3 years of tax returns and a year to date P&L, that's really what we need from the seller to really evaluate, okay, what is the cash flow? And usually what you're going to see is their P&Ls look one way with cash flow looking great, and then the tax returns. Oftentimes they're going to have top line gross revenues of X, and then they're going to have their cost of goods. And usually in the cost of goods, they're writing off personal items, their cars, all this stuff. So then we have to kind of build rapport with the seller along the way, because we're going to have to sometimes have to add back, hey, we're not going to be running 3 cars through this business. It's a
Right.
laundromat. We don't do any delivery. And then so once we find that out, we can paper trail it. We then can get the SBA to potentially look at doing the deal because
Okay.
we can document that the cash flow is there. So if the cash flow is not there, it doesn't mean it's not a deal. It could be a mismanaged business, and we can actually do projection-based loans. So we can say, hey,
Ooh.
only 15 of the 30 machines are working. We're going to come in and put new machines. This is what our revenue. So we do 3 years of projections, and that's part of the SBA process. So we can get really creative.
Yeah. So again, this is why you got to work with Bo Eckstein, boeckstein.biz, and we'll do it again at the end. But